Sure.
And tell me.
Start that again. Sorry.
All right. Thank you for meeting with me this morning. Tell me, how long have you been in the Houston area?
I moved to the Houston area in 1980.
1980.
So I'm a transplanted Arkansan to Texas.
Yeah, well, me too. Yeah, me too. So that's good. And how long have you been with the Woman's Hospital?
I've been with Woman since, well, almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. Does it seem like that?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. It really does.
No, but it's a great place to be. I mean, everybody here is just wonderful. The physicians are great. And it's once I arrived here, I knew this is where I wanted to retire.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I won't mention his name, but one of our physicians yesterday was saying the same thing about you and about the hospital. So it was really good. What brings you the most satisfaction in what you do here at Woman's? What is it that really, keeps you going all the time?
Well, I think that here at Woman's, because we are involved in so many people's lives. I mean, you think back in your own life, what are the times that you remember the most? The birth of your children, or when one of your children was sick and they got better. And so all of us that work here at Woman's have the opportunity of a lifetime. We have an important place in every one of our patients' lives. And they will remember that experience forever. What other place can you work and you can say that? I don't know of any. I mean, it's a great way to spend your career.
Oh, it is. And I hadn't quite thought about that, but I've come to understand that women want to keep two things in their life: their hairdresser and their OB-GYN doc.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, and you've got to include their pediatrician.
And their pediatrician.
Yes.
Sure. Well, we are seeing some changes in healthcare today, and one of those changes that we're working on as a nation and as an industry is the uninsured person. So just succinctly, give me some ideas. How have you seen the uninsured person affect healthcare at Woman's, and maybe even in a big picture way?
Well, when a individual does not have health insurance, they usually put off going to a physician because they don't have the money to pay for it, and they put it off until the condition really becomes serious. And then a lot of the people enter through our emergency departments. And that is the most expensive way of providing health care. So if we can just find ways, I think, of getting the person to the doctor before it gets so serious and it is an emergency, we can really decrease the cost.
Oh, wow. That is an interesting point, and I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. Even working in the hospital, it's not something that I probably think about that way. But over the last few days, meeting some people in the industry who deal with the uninsured person all the time, I can see that would be a big component. And we're seeing more and more uninsured patients, aren't we?
We are.
Yes.
We are. And we're seeing more and more patients that has Medicaid now that did not before. And I think that goes along with the unemployment. We're in some ways kind of protected in Texas because our economy is much better than other parts of the United States, but we're still seeing it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, and it's a joy to work with you.
Well, thank you.
Okay. I think people don't realize that. They don't realize it. The people who maybe are against, and again, I don't want this to be a political discussion, but I'm not saying Obamacare's, the American Health Care Act is the answer, but we've got to get them seeing the doctor sooner. I mean, there's no...
Exactly.
And again, here's Hamill, who has a patient, and I said part of, I think, Rosa's issue is the disease has affected her cognition, her ability to think and reason. You and I wouldn't wait 5 months to go see the doctor. And she can hardly talk. I mean, we could play a little bit of snippet there, but she talks like this. It's always because she's got what I would call thrush, so bad. And when he did a throat exam yesterday, just had her open her mouth, and he started to put the tongue
depressor.
Yeah, I thought she was going to throw up immediately.
Really?
But it was from the pain, just putting it on her tongue. So somehow or another, we've got to. I say this, again, we'll either take care of her now, or we're going to take care of her later, and then we're going to take care of her children. But we're going to take care of her.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going away. So anyway.
Well, we value human life.
We do.
So we are going to try to take care of it.
Well, you and I know that this is, when we look at questions in the Bible, not the first, but one of the first is where's your brother? That's what God said to Cain. He said, where's your brother? We know that's a poem, but it doesn't mean it didn't really happen. We know that's a poem, but are we taking care of our brother? Who is your neighbor? That was the that was the big question. And our neighbors are the Rosas, and they don't live next door to us, but they are our neighbors. And I'm telling you, you meet those children, all three of them, they're so well disciplined, and they're just all over their mom. They're just up in her lap, and Kimberly, it was just Kimberly yesterday because she's not in school yet. She's got my lap and played with her. She had little Hot Wheels and little things. And you know what I told Rand? I said the thing that I walked away from yesterday, and I've walked away with many things, but one of them is she's just an ordinary little 5-year-old girl.
Sure.
She's just like Ava. She's just an ordinary little girl living life. And
well, it's just like, are you aware of this little girl from Africa that we're going to take care of? I mean, just think of that. Rand, did you hear about that?
Yeah.
And she is the sweetest looking little girl. She is just got a smile on her face. And, I mean, it's just
I talked to, what's her name? Dr.
Hardwick Smith.
Yesterday. I said, I want to help you all, and I'm looking and seeing what I have resources available to help with her. And of course, they're going to do an assessment Friday, I think. Is it either this Friday
Monday.
or next? Oh, is it Monday?
It's Monday.
Okay, all right.
And they're going to do it under anesthesia.
Under anesthesia. All right. So yeah. So.
So I'm sure that they'll develop the plan from that, and then we'll schedule her at a later time.
How did that get sent here? Like, how did the news get to what?
Well, Dr. Hardwick Smith, Susan Hardwick Smith, one of our physicians,
Yeah.
she just went to Africa in January on a mission trip, and she did surgeries with the guy that's here in Texas. I'm not for sure where he's from. I think maybe the Dallas area. And she was over there for 2 weeks, and they did surgery on women with fistulas, which is where the urine and the feces are not coming out where they're supposed to. It's all coming out from the vagina because of damage during childbirth.
Okay.
And some of these, I mean, they have children the minute that they start their periods.
Yeah.
And if they're having difficulty giving birth, she says that they just put them out in a little mud hut and let them be there by themselves until they either deliver, the baby dies, the mother dies. And this, she had been doing that, she went on that mission work. And so a friend of hers husband is also involved in some mission work in Africa. And he told her about this little girl. And she immediately said, well, we can help her. Yeah. And so she came to me, and she went to about 5 or 6 of our physicians. And so they had to get a visa for her. And so they've got the visa now. And she's coming over. I'm not for sure when she's coming, but she's going to have a procedure here on April 29th. And it's just going to be doing like an evaluation under anesthesia. and see exactly what they need to do, and then they'll set a date to do it, to do the procedure.
Yeah. Wow.
But the situation with her was sexual mutilation.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, of course, 7
She's
years
7 years
old.
old.
But, I mean, their tribal habits, I guess you would call them tribal habits,
Practices, yeah.
their practices are just,
They're brutal.
you know, they're so foreign to us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, I told my family the other day, I was telling them about this little girl. And I said, you know, we are just so blessed to be born in the United States. That
Yeah.
could be us born
Yeah.
in Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Exactly.
just,
It's amazing where you end up on the earth.
isn't it? But that could very well
Yeah.
have been us.
Yeah.
Right. And they can't escape that culture. I mean, she's,
Well, how do they?
yeah, they can't escape.
I mean, the little girl, I just want to keep her here.
Right, right.
I mean, I'll raise her.
Yeah,
She
I
is
know,
a
I
little
know.
doll.
I know.
And, you know, and then sending her back into that?
Right.
Oh.
I think again, maybe there's somewhere I'm going to help with this. I don't even know how, but it's just, you know, you shared that with me, and it's been on my heart heavy for the last couple of weeks, and she showed me that email, and so we'll see. I mean, I again, I don't know. I'm with you. Can we now send her back to that? Is this what it's, you know?
Well, I think,
Is that our role, just to help her get well and then send her back? We
Well-
got to look at that. All right.
I'm sure it is, because